Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Well, guys, we better get our skates on because we have a massive show ahead.
Skates on? Nice one.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to be checking out the latest in the NHL series.
Not far apart geographically, so fans for both of these teams travel to the road building to cheer them on. Plus, we get all revved up for TrackMania Canyon.
And remember a while back we asked for some help beta testing a new game, Alternator? Well, now we go behind the scenes to find out more about the game.
But first, it's time to take to the skies with SkyDrift.
Up in the air, I fly, zoom, zoom, zoom,
SkyDrift puts you in the cockpit of a daring acrobatic aircraft. It's all about flying at breakneck speed, pulling off stunts to earn boosts as you go, and picking up power-ups to use against your opponents should they try to overtake you.
Yes, it's just like a kart racer, except you're in the sky and you're in planes. Not cars, because cars don't fly.
There are 3 game types to choose from: Power, Speed Racers, and Survivor. The Power Racers are the standard and include pickups such as missiles, machine guns, mines, and EMPs. You can hold 2 of these at once and even upgrade the power if you fly through the same pickup again, giving you more missiles or longer-lasting shields.
I love that, Hex. It's good to see a twist on the standard power-up formula. The AI here is particularly nasty and they will not go easy on you. You also want to avoid falling too far behind because it takes some serious skill to catch up.
You have taken first place.
You also have a boost meter that fills the closer you fly to the ground, encouraging you to fly recklessly. You can also fill it by converting your pickups into boost if you'd rather sacrifice force for speed. And this makes for some great tactics mid-flight.
There's also a survivor mode that requires you stay in the lead as a timer counts down. When it hits 0, the plane in last place is destroyed. Contenders are eliminated one by one until the last plane flying is the winner.
You have taken the lead.
It was okay, Darren, but my favourite were definitely the speed races. Every time you fly through a ring, you go faster and faster and faster until it's all just a blur. And this is where your flying skills are truly put to the test, because if you don't fly carefully and master those controls, you'll become a crater in a cliff face.
You use both thumbsticks. One controls direction and the other allows you to roll your aircraft for tighter turns, or the occasional daredevil barrel roll over the finish line.
This is the kind of game where I found myself actually ducking and weaving as I was playing. It's just so exciting, narrowly avoiding a collapsing bridge or soaring past an exploding volcano.
I thought the tracks and the planes looked good too. It's a very polished game. It's a nice looking game, but there's just not enough tracks. There's only 6 and they reuse them by making you fly around them in reverse, and it just gets a bit tiresome seeing the same things popping up again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, and the game does seem to be missing a few things. For example, you can only choose pre-selected races from the career menu, so if you want to jump into a quick race and tweak the settings yourself, you can only do it in multiplayer, which is only online. And there's no split screen, no side-by-side racing on the couch. I mean, the split screen doesn't work for every game, but it should be standard in a racer.
Yeah, that was definitely frustrating. I would happily give up half my screen or even 3/4 of it to play with friends.
There is plenty of replayability though in unlocking the 8 planes, which all handle differently, and the heaps of medals, badges and paint jobs.
I like this game a lot. It's good having Mario Kart in the sky. It's a winning formula, Hex, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens, even though there's no split screen or not enough tracks.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. It's just good gaming, so I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Shall we fly again?
Yes!
Affirmative.
Bajo here, bringing you all the gaming news from around the world. Gamers have helped to solve a major scientific problem. For over a decade, scientists could only study under a microscope a 2D image of an enzyme connected to the HIV virus. For treatments to be developed, a 3D version of the enzyme was needed. And here's where the gamers helped out. The University of Washington developed a game called Folded, which unfolds chains of amino acids. Competing gamers took just 10 days to produce an accurate 3D model of the enzyme when detected. The Tokyo Game Show has wrapped for another year, bringing a wave of announcements. Sony confirmed the PlayStation Vita will be launched in Japan on December 17th, while also confirming the Vita's battery life will last about 3 to 5 hours. Nintendo confirmed the Slide Pad add-on for the 3DS will be released on December 10th in Japan and will cost approximately $20. They also announced the 3DS will receive a video capture function in the future. That's all the news. Back to you, Coffee.
It's a busy time of year for sport game fans with the releases of the next installment of the big franchises: FIFA, Madden, NBA, and NHL.
From San Jose, California, it's hockey time. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne along with Bill Clement. Ready to watch some hockey? Well, so are we.
NHL stands for National Hockey League. The first ever NHL title was released 20 years ago for the Sega Mega Drive.
Now, you might be asking yourself, what? A hockey game? There's not much ice in Australia. Why would we be interested in that? Well, it's because the NHL games have always been pretty fun, and this one is no exception. You might be confused when you first boot up this game, though, because there are so many modes to choose from. Single matches, be a pro, be a legend, tournament, season, winter classic, so many choices.
You can play through the seasons with teams from all the various ice hockey leagues around the world. Build your pro career from the minor leagues, play as a legend like Wayne Gretzky, or manage your own team. If you like ice hockey, you could spend a lot of time in this game.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good looking game, although not that much different from the last one. In fact, the gameplay itself isn't much different either.
Actually, Bajo, there are a number of tweaks and additions, like goalie hits and more realistic collisions. NHL 12 also has an improved physics system and better player AI.
Crosby's battling in front of the net. And he scores! And an early goal to take the lead.
All of these additions make NHL 12 feel very sports sim. We dusted off an old copy of NHL 09 in the office, and it actually felt a lot faster and more arcadey.
And more fun?
Well, kind of. I mean, sometimes I feel like I don't need so many modes and options.
Well, I don't know, Hex. I think I have to disagree with you slightly there. I spent quite a lot of time with this game, and after a while it started to really show that it's a rich, full package ice hockey game.
Well, overall, I think it's a solid game, and if you're an ice hockey fan, you'll probably get the most out of it. But for everyone else, I mean, I think you can have just as much fun with an older copy of the series. So I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Oh, well, even though the tweaks and additions might not be huge and game-changing, I still think this is a better game, so I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10. Hex, I think it's time we answered some questions and get back to work.
All right, well, let's get started with this one from Meggles, who is somewhere out there in Queensland.
We can play with the monkeys later.
Hi, Good Game SP. I'm having some trouble with Portal 2. I went to play it like I've done before, but when I tried, I just fell into the water. I keep doing this again and again. Help! I don't know what I've done, and I've gone pretty far in the game. Well, Meggles, it sounds like you've been caught by an unfortunate autosave. The game is saved just as you've been falling into the water, and when it restarts, it puts you in exactly the same spot with no time to save yourself. Thanks, game.
Thankfully, Portal 2 uses a dual autosave system. Go into the start menu, select load game, and then choose the second saved slot. That will put you back a little bit from where you got to, but at least you won't be stuck in that loop. Alternatively, you can just restart the level again.
Okay, well, moving on to this one from Henry in Montrose, Victoria.
Please, please, please answer this question. I've had this question for years, and I still am asking it. Well, here's the question. Are there any jobs on the show that are for a 12-year-old? And can you do a brief review on Terraria? Because my friends all have it and say it's great. Thanks, you guys absolutely rock, and there should be a day named after you guys. P.S. D.A.R.R.E.N is the biggest noob ever, comma. Hey Henry, thanks for your kind words. A good game day sounds like a brilliant idea when everyone gets the day off and we all have to stay at home and play games and we can't go to work or school because those games need to be played.
You know, you should ring the Prime Minister and ask her.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Should I do it now?
Yeah.
Already doing it.
How do you know her number?
I've got it on my speed dial because we play games online together like Terraria and she's terrible at... Oh, hi, is that the Prime Minister? No, it's not. Is she? What's she doing?
Tell her it's really important.
It's super important. We would like to have a... Hello? they're gonna think about it and get back to us. But I think it's a great idea. To answer your question, Henry, sadly, we don't have any jobs for 12-year-olds, as much as we'd love to have a whole army of spawnlings in the office to play games with.
Yeah, in fact, I think you have to be around 15 before you're even allowed to get a job. We do have some good news about Terraria for you, though. We actually reviewed it a couple of months ago, and you can watch that review online. Here.
I love Terraria, Hex, and they've made some great changes and additions since we did that review, such as an improvement to the interface. But I did have to stop playing because Darren kept pouring lava all over me.
Yeah, he does like his lava. Anyway, Badge, there's been a big 1.8 Minecraft update, so there's even more Minecraft questions than usual. So let's go to this one from DXer in Minecraft Dear Victoria. Not sure how to pronounce names that have numbers in them. Sometimes it confuses me.
Well, a 3 is an E, and a 7 is a Q.
So, DXer?
Yes.
Hi, Good Game. I was just wondering if you could show some of the features of the Minecraft 1.8.1 update that came out last week. P.S. Bajo, you're the best. Hex, you're great, and Darren's alright. Well, it was a big update with quite a lot of new features and tweaks.
The best.
There are villagers now, but there's no characters in them yet. There's the scary new mob, the Enderman, who will only attack you if you look him directly in the eye. Also, there's another new mob, the Silverfish, who lives inside blocks.
Also, there's a new food system, which means as long as you've eaten a bit, your health will regenerate. You can also sprint now by double tapping forward, which is great for running away from scary things.
And there's also a ton of smaller additions and tweaks, like glass panes and steel bars, and you can do critical hits in combat. One big change is the way the world is lit. Light from the sky has a kind of cold blue tint, while torchlight gives a warm orange glow.
But unfortunately, this has ruined a part of our world. If you are right down at the bedrock, everything now is really dark, even if you've put torches everywhere. This is pretty lame in my opinion, so our epic mine used to look like this. And now it looks like this. It's easy to get lost down there now, and I get lost all the time.
Yeah, and we're not sure how everyone else is coping, but we found the game is really unstable since the update. Our world just crashes all the time now, and even brand new worlds seem to bug out after only a few minutes. But let's move on now to this one from Mystery Viewer in Perth, Western Australia.
Do you know any good games where you can deafen something like a town and build it more and get more guards? I'm really having trouble trying to find one. Please help or I'll become a noob.
Well, I'd say maybe Age of Empires 2 or 3 would fit that bill. You can build up some cool big towns with giant walls around them to defend against attacks.
Also, you could try Caesar 4. It's a prettier game, but not as much fun in our opinion.
Also, if you want to focus more on the actual battles, then Total War Shogun 2 will let you defend your cities against armies of thousands of troops. And you can upgrade smaller towns into bigger castles too.
And of course, there's Civilization 5. It lets you build up heaps of cities and armies to defend them in your bid to be the greatest civilization in the world.
Well, I think that's enough to choose from, but let's move on to this one now from Elemental Hero Neos in Melbourne, Victoria. Dear GGSP, I loved Age of Empires Online and I was wondering, are there any games on DS like it? I'm also getting an Xbox Connect and I'm kind of a noob. What game should I get? P.S. In Ask Good Game, you need to stop reading questions about noobs, and Darren has better keep the good advice coming.
You're in... Hang on a sec. Hey, Darren. Yeah, you picked up really quick. Were you just waiting for me to call? He was just waiting for me to call.
He doesn't have much to do.
Yeah, that's true. We've just got a message saying you've got to keep the good advice coming. Yep. If you could just get on that, that'd be... Yep.
Ask him if he has any advice for us now.
Just put me on hold.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the hold music?
Oh, it's him singing. Oh, pollution in my ears. Anyway, you're in luck because there is actually an Age of Empires game for the DS called Age of Empires: The Age of Kings. It's different to the PC version because it's a turn-based strategy game, and I found it a bit hard to get used to, Hex, because of the diagonal view and the really big characters and the small map, but either way, it's still a pretty good game.
As for the Kinect, well, so far we haven't been that impressed with many of the games. We really liked Child of Eden, although that can be quite tough at times.
Fruit Ninja Kinect is definitely worth the play, and that's a downloadable arcade game.
Kinect Sports is a pretty decent collection and a good bit of fun with friends and family, and Dance Central is great if you like dancing. But for now, let's move on to this one from Plastic Tube in Madura, Western Australia.
Do you like dancing?
A little bit.
Show me some moves.
It's my favourite move.
Keep at it. Hey GGSP, I noticed you played a game on Steam a few weeks ago and you were in a Dougie-on and it had bad graphics. And I was wondering what game that was. If you could tell me, that would be great. P.S. You guys kick some serious butt at games.
Well, let's see some of your moves then. Go on. Smarty pants?
I'm doing them.
It's not even a dance.
No, my legs are dancing.
You just... No, they're
See?
not. I can see them.
No, they're dancing like crazy.
You're just sitting
It's
still.
called Morris dancing, but I've named it to Bajo dancing.
If we were playing Dance Central right now, you would have not even one...
sorry. See, I told you. It doesn't recognize
Not even
good dancing.
one star.
It does not recognize good dancing when
You
you see
wouldn't
it.
unlock any of the extra dances or the challenge modes.
I don't need extra dances because my dance is amazing. Well, thanks Plastic Tube, but I'm pretty sure the game you're talking about is Dungeons of Dreadmore. It's a great little dungeon crawler. I'm the best dancer.
Yeah, well, I liked it a lot. It's got a compelling mix of hunting for fat loots and simple but rewarding combat, but be warned, it's a bit mean at times. But for now, let's move on to this one from Sambo in Denilquin, Queensland, and I'm the best dancer.
Let's move right on to it.
What is that?
If you can't recognize it, then you obviously can't dance. That was...
How is that better than this? Clearly the best move.
I'm not even going to call Darren.
Please, 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 can you do a review on Midnight Club Los Angeles? If not, please show me what it is like. P.S. Hex is the best gamer. B. Bracket. Hello, Darren? Did you see me dancing? It's pretty good, wasn't it? Well, you know what? No one cares about your opinion anyway, so... He said I was really good and I won the dancing competition. I'm gonna get like a trophy or a medal or something, so... Anyway, you reviewed Midnight Club LA a few years back, didn't you, Bajo? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I gave it an 8. It is a huge world to race around in with lots to do, and there's a big career and lots of cars that you can customize, and it's really fun online. If you're after an open world racer, then I definitely recommend it. If not, though, you might as well go with something like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which is one of my favorite games that I like to play by myself.
Nice. Well, that's all the time we have for this week, but you know what to do with those questions. Send them in here.
You might remember a little while back we asked a few of you to become beta testers for the game Alternator.
Well, now the game is finished and ready to be played, so we thought it would be a good idea to catch up with the dev team and find out a little bit more about it.
Alternator is a really fun off-road racing game where you not only try to win the races, but you also try to save your world.
The Serious Games initiative was looking for filmmakers or storytellers to team up with game makers to create a serious game. And neither Dean or I come from the game making side, we're both from the storytelling side.
I started out in theatre and making corporate events, gala events, that kind of thing.
I've come from film and TV. I'd worked on this big, crazy show called Double the Fist, which was an ABC show. It had always been a dream of mine to make a computer game, and Dean also had dabbled a little bit in his youth with computer games. And I just thought, what an amazing opportunity this could be to, you know, not only make a game, but also make a game that can be quite meaningful and be on the ABC's website, so a lot of people are going to see it.
The idea generated from a conversation eating a chicken burger. And we were sitting there trying to brainstorm ideas, going through everything from, like, you know, zombies to I don't know what. And then suddenly this idea just popped in, and we both just went, yep, that's a great idea.
We thought it would be a really interesting mix to have a car racing game where the car's built out of clean technology. Whatever we get behind, sort of as an individual or as a society, that thing will grow and prosper.
Yeah.
And so if we get behind polluting technologies, that's what's going to happen. If we get behind clean technologies, then that's the stuff that's going to be in our future. And I think, if anything, that's the message of the game.
At the heart of any kind of creation, you've got to have an idea that you really love, you know, and that you really believe in.
You can have the best message in the world, but unless the game's fun to play, no one's going to hear the message. So I was really excited when we managed to get this serious element of the game and put it into the really fun aspect of the game in a way that's completely seamless and just really great fun.
Yeah. Having the good game testers involved gave us some great feedback just at the moment when we were ready to do the final touches and fixes for Alternator. We had over 2,000 people apply, and we could unfortunately only pick 40 of them, and they were fantastic. They gave us really comprehensive, thoughtful, insightful feedback on the game. We've started off this great little story, which is Alternator. great characters, great designs and cars and world that you're in, and we reckon that, you know, there's so much more that we could do with it. And, the more people get out there and play it, the sooner we can bring out Alternator 2.
Darren, calm down. Darren! I know TrackMania 2 reminds you of your days as a stunt driving robot, but we need to get on with the review.
Charging my turbo. Here in my car, I feel safest of all.
Of course, we're talking about TrackMania 2 Canyon, which is the latest in the series, and it's on the PC. And Darren, if you're such an expert on stunt driving racing games, why don't you tell us all about it?
Oh, affirmative. The TrackMania games have been around since 2003, primarily on the PC, though there have been DS and Wii versions too. It's all about maneuvering your little car through crazy obstacle courses at super speeds, just by using the 4 arrow keys on your keyboard. Some tracks may only take 20 seconds to finish, but it's all about getting the fastest time, so it's perfect for multiplayer action.
Other TrackMania releases include Sunrise, Nations, and United, but this is the first time they've put a 2 on the box, so Canyon is the first real sequel that this series has had since it launched.
That's right, but straight away you'll notice that Canyon is very different to any TrackMania game before it. The whole graphics engine has been updated, so this is the best TrackMania has ever looked.
Yeah, it's all much higher res, isn't it, with effects like blurring, realistic sunlight, especially when you zoom out of a dark tunnel and get momentarily blinded, and huge draw distances too. I mean, it's quite beautiful.
It sure is. Stunning sunsets, massive rocky mountains, and the good news is all that scenery you see in the background actually exists. And I found this out because I drove up a cliff and I went exploring.
Trust you to fall off the track, Bajo. Your car also got pretty beaten up too, I noticed.
Yeah, I was just testing out the damage models to see how good the damage was in the game.
TrackMania traditionally offers a bunch of different game modes: racing, puzzle, platformer, and stunts. Only this time, there's only one mode, and that's just racing. It's weird that they've taken all that other stuff out, but we'll get to that in a bit. There are still multiple tiers to get through though, starting with the easiest white tracks through to the most difficult black tracks.
The game challenges you to unlock those gold and silver medals so you can progress and then unlock the trickier tracks. But you do have the advantage of being able to follow a ghost car on the fastest gold medal time to observe what they do to get through. Were you scared by the ghost cars, Darren?
Negative. You can also download the replays of your friends' times and race against those. What makes TrackMania so compelling is that as soon as you stack it, you can just press a button and instantly be reset back at the starting line, so you can try again.
Yeah, and stacking is easy to do. The game also has many enormous jumps, loop-the-loops, and ridiculous corners. You always just want to have one more go. I mean, this time I can do it.
And how good is that feeling? Even when you shave 1/10 of a second off your time. That feeling, it's so victorious.
And it's all about posting a better time than everyone else. For your time to get recorded on the global leaderboard, it needs to be official, but you're only allowed to post an official time once every 5 minutes.
Yes, and how stressful is that when that time comes up? Because this is your one shot at fame. You've got to do it right. It's so tense.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting an awesome time on your practice run and then stuffing it up on your official run.
I can see some people rage quitting.
Yeah, I saw Darren rage quit.
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
Really?
He flipped the computer over and he just legged it.
Negative.
Yeah.
You are mistaken, Bajo.
Darren!
What were you doing then, Darren? Did you suddenly have an urge to make a sandwich for us? Because I didn't need a sandwich. I just saw you run away going, TrackMania!
We're reviewing a game here, Bajo.
Back to it. Canyon only has one type of car to race with, and this car goes really, really fast and slides about a lot. Nailing a perfect long drift as you come around a corner is very satisfying, but occasionally you'll lose grip and spin out too, and I think this has to be one of the hardest TrackMania games yet. And if you get the chance to play it with a controller, I hear that's much better.
Well, let's talk about the changes they've made, Bajo, because like we said, they've taken out most of the game modes and just left us with the one setting and car type, so it's a very stripped back version of TrackMania than we're used to. I mean, do you think this is so that they can release add-on packs later on and, charge us more money?
Yeah, I do, but there's still plenty of game to be had in TrackMania Canyon. I think it feels a bit unfair because the last one had so many features.
So what do you think overall? Does Canyon live up to previous TrackManias?
Yeah, I think so. Even though there's one racing mode and that's it, you can count on there being a good online community to support this game, which means there'll be loads of stuff created for it. Who knows what the developers have planned for the game, but as it stands, I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Well, it feels to me like Canyon is aimed at more hardcore TrackMania players because the tracks are all really insane and this is more about mastering them. But it's undeniably good fun, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Back to the racing.
He's been doing this for a week.
And he takes the corner.
Well, sadly that brings us to the end of another episode of Good Games Spawn Point, but we shall return next week.
Yes, and with that promised look at FIFA 12 with all of its tweaks and tactics.
Plus that absolute classic Star Fox 64, which has finally made its way to the 3DS.
Top 30 Star Fox. Let's rock and roll.
If you would like to play Alternator, then head over to our website and follow the link.
Till next time, gamers, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
Hey, Darren, have you heard from D.A.R.R.E.N?
Oh, affirmative. He settled in quite nicely at the academy.
What's he up to?
Oh, he's working on solving the Hodge conjecture.
The working there?
It's a major unsolved problem in algebraic geometry, which relates to the algebraic topology of a non-singular complex algebraic variety and the subvarieties of that variety.
Oh, the Hodge conjecture.
Affirmative.